I want to talk about how you can live life and at the same time take life seriously, but never with force. And I think that will be my thumbnail. Live life, take life seriously, but never with force. I don't know if any one of you have actually hear or come across one of those videos that say, do not take life too serious. Do not take life seriously. But one thing I've able to like actually come across with that I've actually conclude within myself is life is meant to be taken seriously, but never with force. I don't know if you've ever tried anything, maybe a business, maybe in a relationship as well, or in life in general, once things are being done forcefully, oftentimes you probably end up regretting or you probably later on, not happy with yourself, like, what a waste of time. And I could remember telling you a quick story about myself. Came to United States 2016. My first ever relationship was in November 2016. Being a novice, dating if a woman, and again, this is a woman, a single mom for that matter, first ever relationship. I realized a year and a half into this relationship, the relationship lasted 4 years. A year and a half into this relationship, things was just never the same. But again, I forcefully, she never forced me, but I was the one forcing myself into this relationship that I probably should have let go since I started noticing the difference. But definitely I never actually let go because I was like thinking, maybe this lady could actually give me this, maybe this lady could actually do this, to the extent that I start, things that I wouldn't accept, I start accepting it. And I talked to my mom about it, even though she gave me her own perspective about it, but I just never listened. I don't know. Sometimes, we have to like go through that mistakes ourselves and go through that fire and get burned for us to actually learn our lesson. And I wanted to put this out there. More. I believe my video should. I want my video to actually reach people who are in their late 20s, 30s, people who are trying to actually change their life, who do not want the same result for their life, who are trying to change their life as much as I'm trying to change my own life as well. Because if I'm in my if I'm in my early 20s and someone is telling me to take life seriously, I probably won't listen for sure. So that is beside the point. Yeah, living, I've noticed from my own experience, like there's a way the universe really work. Anything that is being forced, you just, oftentimes 9 out of 10, you end up saying what a waste of time if you really force things, either a relationship or anything you do in life. But I want you to actually hear my point of view by me saying you should take your life seriously. Live your life. I'm not saying not to live your life, but at the same time, I'm telling you to live your life seriously. Because I'm the guy that, I never used to take things seriously. Not to say I regret all of that. I've said it as a man, you have to be more experienced so you can actually lead your family. But I never took life seriously, not until couple years ago that some kind of things happen and I start living my life seriously. And one thing I've actually realized about it is that once you start living your life seriously, once you start making that serious decision about your life, about everything you do, not that you can control everything, but again, 9 out of 10, you can actually control some things in your life. But taking life seriously for me, I've actually helped my life, even with my mental, my spiritual, and my physical as well. Because I'm being respected more, even by people that don't even know me. If I walk in a room, people look at me, say we have. I don't know what it is, but maybe people can actually sense my energy that I'm kind of like, I'm taking my life seriously right now. And again, when I look at the books of history of big book of the great people that are actually that I'm inspired by, these people really do take their life seriously. I've never seen any great person in the book of greatness that have, you know, lived their life anyhow and achieve greatness. So when I say live your life, but at the same time live it seriously, is one thing that I'm doing myself as well. Because society will tell you, yeah, have fun, do this, do that, and I will say it's okay to have fun, no problem with that. But there gotta be some time or a point in your life, especially as a man, where you have to take life seriously. Because society, I think they are looking for shit. I don't know with sheep. If you tell sheep to go this way, go that way. If I believe this is also this is what society is looking for. If you don't take your life seriously, society will definitely use you. So once I start taking my own life seriously, I start seeing that change that I really want. People start to respecting me more. People start, noticing me more. So when I say live your life seriously, but not with force, because with force, oftentimes it's not the result you really want. And there's something with the universe. The universe will always play out as it want to play out. That's one thing with the universe. I think there's a energy behind that. You can never force anything in life. Even that business, you cannot force it. And if you try something and you feel it's not that is not you forcing it, it's part of your experience. But you know what I mean by forcing it. You've been in that relationship, your intuition is telling you, hey, this is not the right way, but you still kind of like insist. And we have a way of doing that. We have a way of insisting, even our intuition is telling us to do otherwise. But once you start taking things seriously, you wake up intentionally. You go to the gym intentionally. You dating your next girl, your next relationship intentionally, seriously. You see even the people you attract in your circle definitely will be serious people. Because if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody is going to take you seriously. So you have to start taking that step to take your life seriously. And how can you take your life serious? Is by being intentional with whatever you're doing. Now, there's no right or wrong. What I mean for me, taking my life seriously is actually taking myself, my taking care of my mental, my spiritual, my everything. The kind of food that I eat, the kind of people that I associate myself with. This is me taking my life seriously. For you, it might be different. It might be juggling that ball, that soccer ball. That is you taking your life seriously. It might be whatever it is that you actually derive, you know, pleasure from, whatever it is that you derive fun with, whatever keeps you, you know, in that flow state of life. You know what? I don't have to force this, but at the same time, I'm living my life. So yeah, it's okay to take your life seriously. Taking your life or not taking life seriously, I think it's a trap for you to waste away your life. It's a trap for you to actually end up, maybe most likely, with the kind of people you don't want to end up with. But if you take every step intentionally with purpose, this is how you live the kind of life, or this is how you live a legacy. So it is okay for you to live life, but take it seriously, but never force anything in life.